of TCEA, Techno College of Engineering, Agartala. So now the inaugural speech will be delivered by convener of IIC of TCEA, Dr. Priyanko Mojumdar, sir.
A very good evening, everyone. I am very happy to welcome all the participants to this 3 day seminar on promoting innovation and entrepreneurial ecosystem in technical institute. I would like to cordially thank Professor Manushi Roy Chaudhuri, Honorable Co-Chancellor, Techno India University, West Bengal, and Co-Chair Martin Acharya, respected Principal of Techno College of Engineering, Agartala, and all the other respected patrons and members of Innovation Cell. Really, it is a golden opportunity for TCEA to get valuable knowledge of innovation, entrepreneurship, and startup ecosystem from the eminent speakers who have consented to share their knowledge regarding to the same in this seminar, which will be definitely an enhancement to audience existing repertoire of knowledge. With this hope and expectation, I would like to conclude my speech. Thank you very much.
Now we will start our technical session. Now the lecture will be given by Executive Director and CEO of Techno India Group, Mr. Meghdut Roy Chaudhuri, sir. On the topic of opportunities for students and faculty members in early stage entrepreneurship and converting innovation into startups. Meghdut Roy Chaudhuri is a social entrepreneur, community builder, and a social change maker. He started his first company at the age of 19, a music recording studio by the name of Blooper House Studios, which has till date produced more than 3,000 albums and artists from across the world. Meghdut sir has a master's in management with a specialization in internal business from HEC Paris, Stanford University, and Tel Aviv University. He is currently the Executive Director and Chief Innovation Officer at Techno India Group, one of the largest educational conglomerates in India, and has been driving a new wave of experimental interdisciplinary learning for adults through the recently established Offbeat CCU, a school of the future. He also runs a co-working space startup incubator called Technopreneur Surrogate Ventures in Kolkata. He has recently co-founded Bengal Business School to promote entrepreneurship and change the narrative around doing business in the East. Now I will request Meghdut sir kindly to start his lecture.
Sure. But before I do that, I want to see everybody because we are post pandemic era, and if I don't see who I'm talking to, it's very difficult to communicate. So I would request all of you to turn on your cameras, please. Don't turn on your mics, just turn on your cameras. I will not start speaking until at least 70% of the screen has people with their cameras on. Very good. Take a cue. The others, go on, turn on your cameras. Good. We have like 4 people who turn on their cameras. I'll give you 1 minute. Okay, I'm going to start in exactly 1 minute. I want to see who I'm talking to. Forty-five seconds remaining. 30 seconds remaining. Come on, turn on your cameras. Fifteen seconds remaining. Okay, I think quite a few of you have turned on your camera. I'm going to begin now. Thank you for that. I think a few of you left as well. You probably did not want to turn on your cameras, so I guess a lot of people have left. Yeah, that's fine. I was really interested to hear me. If not, that's on. My name is Meghdu. I represent Tech Media Group as the Chief Innovation Officer, and I guess they felt it would be interesting for all of you if I spoke to you a little bit about it. And I guess they very so we can learn a little bit from this particular session. I would have obviously loved to do this when I host workshops. I like doing it physically. I like being in the same room with all of you and interacting as informative and interactive as possible. Unfortunately, that's not going to be possible. So here I am talking to you across the street and I'm seeing tiny little clips. So I'm going to assume these are real people. So, what is entrepreneurship? And there are a lot of things that you hear about but just literally solving problems that you see. And every time nowadays you open social media, you open Twitter, you open LinkedIn, you open news, you hear about this startup getting this much valuation, raising that much funds from such investors and venture capitalists.
Sir, the sound quality is not clear. One echo is happening.
One echo is happening. Okay. Let me see what I can do about that. Hold on. Am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Sir. Now it's clear.
yes, sir. Now it's clear. Yes.
Much better?
Yes, sir. It's better.
Yes, sir. It's better.
Why didn't you tell me before? I hear I'm under the impression that you can all hear me. Okay, great. Thank you. So nowadays when you, I'm going to go back on my last sentence. I was saying that nowadays when you open the news, when you open the TV, you open Twitter, you open LinkedIn, you see so much information and about this startup has raised this much money and that company has valued at so many $1 million or $1 billion. And what I want to tell you today is that this is not what all entrepreneurship is about. Yes, it's definitely an important part. The growth of our economy depends on the amount of new businesses that are happening. It's also dependent on the new business verticals that are being opened in existing businesses. All of that is good and great. But as all of you have actively decided to be part of the institution's Innovation Council of Techno College of Engineering, Agartala, which means that you obviously have an interest beyond what is being taught at your college, right? You are interested in listening to somebody speaking at 7:30 in the evening. It means you already have an interest to know about what is possible, what are the avenues in which growth is possible. So I applaud you for that. So good job. First checklist is done. That the first tick mark is already there because you have that entrepreneurial spirit. You have the spirit of coming to a session organized which is not necessary will Am I audible, visible again? Sorry, I lost my connection.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This is why we should do this in a physical environment. This is why I truly believe that never will digital and online learning replace physical learning, because you don't have these. No matter what happens, there's always some kind of problem that comes up. Anyway, going back to the point. So what I was saying before, that there's so many problems around us in the world, right? If we want to truly look at the world of entrepreneurship, the onus comes back to each and every one of us. You guys, us, your principals, your teachers, all of the people who are in your college, because at the very core of it, entrepreneurship means solving problems, and these are problems that are just around. There might be some massive problems in the world, like for example, poverty. Poverty is a problem that is existing through time, across generations, across countries, and it's a massive problem, right? So one of you might today think, oh, you know what, I really liked what Meghdut said. Would I be able to maybe solve the problem of poverty? Now, poverty as an issue, an intergenerational issue, that it's really impossible for any one entrepreneur to be able to solve that. older than you guys, but definitely on the other side of my 30s, which means that when I was younger, I did not have access to this kind of technology because it used to take so much time to connect to the internet. We used to have like this modem. I remember when I was younger, and if you wanted to connect to the internet, then from the modem and somebody else had to pick up the line. They would hear these random noises like I don't know if maybe your teachers or your faculty members might be aware of that, but back in the day, this used to be called dial-up modems. And the connectivity speed of a dial-up modem was 56.6 kbps, which is ridiculous if you think about it. Today, a photo is 2 megabytes. To download, tell me how much time does it take to download a 2 megabytes photo on a 56.6 kbps connection? It was ridiculous. It used to take so much time. Today, the fact that we have fast internet everywhere, that we can sit across from a different state and hear other people or even different countries, this was not possible. Which also, along with opportunities, I think, of course, an entire plethora of possible career options have opened up for you guys. So what if some of you might not be great at college, right? I'm guessing not everybody in this call is the topper of their class, because it's literally not possible. Some people are toppers, some people come second, some people are in the middle of the class somewhere. But that does not in any way undermine what you will achieve in life. Absolutely. And you can bring anybody in the world out in front of me. I completely disagree with the fact that one of you guys, if you guys went out and built something, you would be any worse than any IIT student or an IISc student or an IIM student. I don't agree at all. If somebody wants to contest me on that, I am willing to fight with them, because I don't believe that your education is directly responsible for the positive effects that you have on your life. Always remember that people you know what the hardest exam in India is? Any of you? You wanna open up your mic and tell me what is the hardest exam that you can give in India?
UPSC.
UPSC, yeah. So civil services exams let's put them in one broad category, that you have your IAS, your IPS, your in forest services, foreign services, reserves. So these exams are probably some of the hardest exams you can give in India. Even if you take this exam and you're at the top of your career, you still become an IAS, IPS, whatever, an officer, but you are at the end of the day still answerable to the politician who sits on top of you, who probably has a lot less education than you do, right? So education cannot be a direct marker, and this is not a conclusive evidence. Obviously, IAS officials are super powerful, and they basically control the way that entire countries work. But my whole point in taking that example was that that's not the end. It's not the end of how you become successful in your life. Probably a politician who's a class 8 fail has the hustling mindset, is able to create a name for himself and able to tick the right boxes in his career, can actually sit in a cabinet where he has 10 IAS officers or 15 IAS officers reporting to him. And he gets the work done through them. Also, you will notice similar things. Like, so for example, when you create your own company, there's no guarantee that you are going to be the person who's the most well-educated person in the entire group. In fact, let me tell you this. In a company, if you're creating your own company and you have a startup, and in 5 years, say for example, you're valued at $1 million. Okay, not even, it's like $1 million is about a few crores, like 7, 8, 10 crore rupees your company is valued at. Even if you're at that stage and you're hiring people, if you're not hiring people who are more educated than you or better at the job than you, then you are doing your company a disservice. So one of the first things you have to realize is that education is not the end of it all. Education is very important. It helps you course correct. It helps you create a fallback option for your life, but it's not the end of the world, right? So my point of telling you this is, I am very glad that today so many of you guys have joined. I see about 96, 98 people. It's hovering between that. People have joined in at 8 p.m. almost on a weekday to come and listen to somebody talking about innovation. It means you already have the innovative mindset in you. Now, obviously, your next question is going to be, sir, are we going to all go and create our own companies? Probably not. Probably this is not what's expected of you. Probably even if you wanted to, you would have a terrible time doing it, because the entrepreneurship journey is very hard. no matter what anybody tells you, do not believe them if they say, oh, it's a bed of roses. And, from the day you start, there are investors coming at you every day, and you're going to be riding a Mercedes Benz by the second month, and you will have a house in London. No, it's not going to happen like that. It's a very, very, very difficult journey. You slog yourself off, like, day in, day out. You do not have a boss per se, right? If you're running your own company, then you're working for nobody. You're working for yourself, which means there's nobody actually to tell you what to do in life, which actually is a lot harder than you would believe. It's a lot easier for us human beings to follow orders. We are very good at following orders and creating them. The 1% of you who do not like following orders and are very comfortable having lives which are well set, having a good standard timeline, having a schedule which makes sense for yourself, and you're able to be productive, that percent is actually cut out to be entrepreneurs. So then the next question is obviously what happens to the rest of the 99%. So what happens to the rest of better time to have lived in Agartala. Because today, the difference in the information that I receive versus the information that you receive is zero. Is net nada difference between our information quarters. We all get the same news. We all can get access to the same kind of information on the internet. We can look up the same knowledge that we want. It's all about what you do with it. So today, maybe all of these things that I'm saying is being lost in translation somehow, or it's being lost in the way that maybe it's late, it's 8 p.m. I don't particularly care what Meghdut is saying. Sounds like a load of pseudo motivational bullshit. But that's not the point. Is not that. The point is tomorrow, if even one of you go out and do something different in your careers from all of the rest of you guys, because I'm guessing all of you go to the same college, right? Which means you guys get the same education. What you do with that education, what you do with that knowledge, what you do with the other things that your college has to offer, like potentially an IIC event that your college has to offer, is what is going to shape your lives in the future. I am a massive proponent of utilizing every single minute that you have in your college careers for the best of your abilities, for doing something that is not expected of you. Try to experience as much. Nothing is conclusively bad. I mean, as long as you're not hurting anybody, that includes your parents, don't make them sad. There is a responsibility that you have to them, that they have invested in your education. Do not go and disappoint them with lack of plans and options. I'm not saying, okay, you should not agree with everything that your parents say either. Just because they say, oh, you have to absolutely take this job because we believe it's good for you. Probably not. Yes. If you think it's a good idea for you, great. If not, make sure you are well prepared enough to give them, don't give them excuses. Give them results on why you should pursue an alternative path. Give them results on why you should probably go and build your tech company, or give them reasons why you think that the city of, in Agartala, we do not have a very good public library, and I'm going to work closely with the public policymakers and get funds and grants and build a public library for Agartala. Maybe that's your road to fame. Or maybe you believe that gaming is your ultimate goal in life, and you believe PUBG or whatever, Battle Underground it's called now, playing that and becoming the absolute best at it is going to give you enough money to survive your life and to create a name for yourself. Maybe that's your calling. The fact that you have access to all of these possibilities today are things that we did not have. So I would absolutely implore all of you to go out and seek out these opportunities. It could also mean becoming a freelancer or a solopreneur. Do you know what a solopreneur is? Somebody like who builds a company by themselves on their own shoes. A solopreneur, or you become an entrepreneur by I don't know if you guys have heard of Ranveer Alabadia and Beer Biceps. He's also an entrepreneur. He creates content, right? So content creators are massive entrepreneurs today. These are possibilities which were not available before. Maybe you can become an influencer on Instagram, or on, I know TikTok doesn't work here anymore, but whatever, Takatak or one of these other social media platforms. Maybe that is your calling. But you got to realize that if this is the path you want to take, the path less traveled by, it's obviously a lot more difficult. Your passions, if you want to monetize your passions and create a career out of that, it's definitely very, very doable, but you have to slog a lot harder than your next person. Your chances of success are probably a lot higher if you are really passionate and really good at this. But it also means you have to work a lot harder towards it because you're taking the less traveled path. And your college obviously has a lot to offer. You need to keep your eyes and ears open, not just when you're in college, even afterwards. A lot of you are not going to be entrepreneurs today, but tomorrow in the organizations that you go and work at, that you serve at, that you go and become part of their companies, tomorrow I have a belief that you could become intrapreneurs. Intrapreneurs are people who go and build new functions, new business verticals within existing organizations, and it's very special. It's a way to say, for example, Satya Nadella, what he does for Microsoft. He did not create Microsoft, but he does run Microsoft like a startup today, like a massive startup, and he thinks like an entrepreneur, which is what gives him so much edge over the competition. You look at Sundar Pichai at Google. He did not create Google, Sergey Brin did, right? And his co-founder. But today, if you look at Google, it's run like a massively innovative company. Why is it run like that? Because these guys are entrepreneurs. These massive Indian CEOs who've taken on the responsibilities of these big companies, they think very innovatively. They think and they act very innovatively, which is why they're able to disrupt their own organizations and take them far ahead of what was expected of them. So tomorrow, I hope and I expect a lot of you to go and become entrepreneurs. I expect that a lot of you will go and work for the Infosys, the TCS, the Wipros of the world, but you will change those organizations from within. You will see problems within those organizations and you will try and solve them. Because just because your boss said it needs to happen a certain way does not necessarily mean he knows everything in the world also, right? There's a way of dealing with it. It's something that is taught in higher business theory as well, of how to positively engage in meaningful conversation, but where you do not agree with each other. It's very obvious. In a lot of times in your life, you're going to meet people who you will not agree with. How you disagree with them is very important. Are you going to be disrespectful and say, oh, I don't care what you say? Absolutely not. That's not the way to disagree with someone. But if you have facts and figures, if you read enough, if you watch enough television, enough meaningful television, not like K-serials. I don't think you really learn anything from K-serials. But there's enough good content on TV today. Like you have your Netflix and your Hotstar and so much good content coming out all the time. If you are able to take all of that knowledge, the knowledge that you get from Twitter, from LinkedIn, from your social media, you guys are already way ahead of the curve than when I was your age. Maybe when I was 18, 19, 20 years old, I didn't have access to that much information and technology. So I think as a global average, you guys are way smarter than when we were. So use that, utilize that. And tomorrow, if you want to have an alternative career, I am a big proponent for it, but be prepared that it's not a bed of roses. You'll have to work a lot harder. And your entrepreneurship journey, if nothing at all, is going to make you stronger. It's going to make you more resilient. Because in an entrepreneur's life, every day is a roller coaster. Like today, you're going to wake up thinking, oh, wow, I've rocked it. Like I have achieved so much today and I have done so much good and I have hired 5 new people and I'm doing so well in my business. It's great. The next day, you're down in the dumps. You are down so bad that it's very hard for you to even wake up the next morning. Is it gratifying? Is the journey interesting? Yes, I run about 11 ventures ranging from a school of the future to cafes, to restaurants, to co-working spaces, to music recording studios, to people's movements, campaigns. There's so much going on every day, and there's different kinds of problems that I'm facing every day. You'll never be truly ready to be an entrepreneur. But if there was a time to be an entrepreneur, I think to start with in 2022, in Agoda, in the place that you're in while you're in college with such little responsibility in your lives, this is probably the best time that you can. So I will stop at that. It's been about half an hour since I've been talking, and I genuinely and sincerely hope that I see a couple of entrepreneurs coming out of this group. I hope the Institutions Innovation Council at Techno College of Engineering Agartala is doing justice to honing your entrepreneurial spirit. I hope they bring good speakers, which increases your curiosity and your interest in potentially becoming an entrepreneur. But not for one reason do I want you to be restricted to only that. Do your own research. Go out in the world, talk to people, open a LinkedIn profile in which you can professionally network and connect with people that you want to follow tomorrow, that you want to be mentored by tomorrow. Reach out to them, build your profiles, add all the relevant information, sometimes social, maybe sometimes institutional, educational, professional, whatever experiences you're having in your life, start documenting them, putting them on your LinkedIn, because it really helps in the future when you guys are going to go into the professional world. It's going to really help you, all of you. And my last piece of advice to all of you guys is that there has never been a better time to take a risk, because the risk reward ratio right now is very, very high, because no matter what you do, even if you fail at your journeys, it's not the end of the world, because you have fallback options. You probably have parents who can take care of you. You have a college that is there to take care of you. You can possibly still be a very, very bad entrepreneur and still be a very, very good academic and a student. Does not really matter. And but if you have a zeal to do something differently, take that risk, take that plunge, do something different. Even if it means opening an NGO, if you want to do social service, do it. But open a social business, find a business model which works. That also solves the problem around you. So yeah, I wish you guys all the best, and hopefully I'll come to Agartala soon, and I will meet all of you, and we'll talk. And feel free to connect with me over LinkedIn if you guys want. I am fairly accessible on LinkedIn. I do not get time to answer to everybody individually always, but I definitely try. So if you have an interesting idea that you want to share, feel free to write it to me on LinkedIn. My name is Meghdut Roy Chaudhary. It was a pleasure talking to all of you. And next time we're going to make this a physical live session. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your valuable speech. I hope everyone enjoyed, and this lecture will be very much helpful for future entrepreneurs. Thank you very much, sir. Now we'll move on the second lecture, and sharing of experience will be given by TCEA alumni, Mr. Saptarshi Sharma. Saptarshi Sharma graduated in electrical engineering in 2019 from TCEA. He is working with Loom Solar Private Limited as authorized distributor and authorized channel partner of Adani Power. He is CEO and MD of Chandana Solar Consultancy and founder of Chandana Battery Manufacturing. He is working in DWS under JGM on IoT management. He is a partner on PLC manufacturing for solar pumping system. Now I will request to Mr. Saptarshi Sharma kindly start his speech. It's not audible, sir. Hello, nothing is audible.
Hello. Hello. Now, are you listening, sir?
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes, now it's audible.
Hello. Hello, sir.
Is there anything wrong, Saptarshi?
It's not audible.
Shoptorshi, you just try to reconnect.
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ ম্যাম শোনা যাচ্ছে? হ্যালো ম্যাম শুনতে পাচ্ছেন?
Your voice is very low. Please rejoin Saptarshi if you have any problems.
Sir, I am trying to join, but হ্যালো স্যার শোনা যায়?